Late Game Reviewer here, and welcome to my channel. So it looks like EVE Online is going free to play in the month of November, from what I can see here. This is really big news because for a very long time, I know when I played, they were starting to to think about it. There were some rumors here and there, and a lot of people were talking about it, but nothing concrete, nothing that would say, you know what, yeah, it's going to be free to play, nothing like that. But first of all, what is EVE? In a nutshell, it's a kind of space combat sandbox experience kind of thing. It's a really niche kind of game. There's not a lot of players, there's not a lot, a lot of people playing this. This is what you call a massive multiplayer online game. Now it's going to be free to play. What's going on? What will happen? I hope there's going to be more players. I really hope so. But why is it going free to play? These are my thoughts on this, on the clone states, like the future of access to EVE Online, like the free to play of EVE Online here. And I wish that people would leave a comment that would be really constructive. Because of one reason here, and it's really important to know this, in case if people don't know about this one. EVE Online, in a really good way, I mean, this is not an insult. I haven't seen such a hardcore, what would be the word? I have the word on top of my tongue here, but a hardcore community. A dedicated community. That's what's on top of my head because of man, there's a lot of things that's going on in EVE that the community, like one example, you talk about one thing, you can unleash the wrath of everyone inside the community. And a lot of times the discussions that's going on here, I think the word polarize comes to mind, which is a good thing. I mean, I wish that more people, more gamers would be dedicated to their games, because EVE, like any other game out there, it's nothing compared to EVE. It's something that people are willing to pay, and I really understand that. I mean, I've paid for what, 4 years or so of service, but why is it going free to play? The thing is this. Let's be honest here. While CCP hasn't been doing really great in the last couple of years, let's say the last 5 or 10 years, no, 5 years to be fair, they've been losing subscriptions, they've been losing players, and I don't know what the reason is exactly. I mean, I'm not those guys or those people. I can only assume of, well, a couple of things, maybe price, but I don't think that's the number one reason. There's multiple reasons, of course, because I can't see a lot of people. When I was playing, I think it was, what, 35,000 on a really low day, and on a really, high population day would be 50,000 on one server, by the way. That's really something. But now, a lot of times I see 25, 20,000. It's not much. It's really not really much. It's nothing compared to when I was there before. They've been losing a lot of subs, a lot of players, which is really bad. So yeah, no wonder they're going free to play. And besides, you saw the, inside their game, sorry about that, the aura, the Aurum kind of thing going on, which means you pay real money for Aurum, and it's not a premium, well, it's items that you pay for real cash. So they've been introducing the game to some free-to-play concept after some time. So slowly and surely they've been introducing these kind of things. But let's start. I'm here to talk about a couple of things. First of all, why are people leaving and why are people not subscribing? And something that I have been seeing, and including, if I look in the dev blog here, the follow-up. There's a single thing that they haven't talked about. It's regarding the price and the alpha state. because it's going to be a free-to-play game, and I've been doing what, 3-4 pages or so, reading every single comment, but after that I just left. I mean, there's 20 pages, which is it's getting ridiculous at this point. I can't read everything. I mean, I have a life here, so it's only about those two things, and I'm not going to talk about, for example, like the other, not the other features, but I'm not going to talk about the limited logins for the alphas, for example, for the alpha state, and other stuff that they talk about the post-announcement follow-up here. No, it's about those two things. Like, first of all, why is EVE Online going free to play? This is really important. It's one of the most important things that's going on with EVE Online right now with CCP. Because, to my experience, when I was playing, a lot of people were leaving, and a lot of people were, I would say, threatening to leave the game, especially the veterans. The ones that are like on top, and probably like on top as in alliances, and probably has Titans, and those are ships that are freaking huge and takes a huge time and huge investment of time and I would say cash at some point to do, but mostly time. When I was there was about the incomplete features. I was at a time when CCP, when they were there, when I was there, they were arrogant in some way. I'm not here to be like to point them and like say things that are negative. No, I'm not here for that. It's what I'm saying are fact. I mean, go look at their blogs at that time. I think it was in 2010 or 2009 or something. I'm not really sure about the time, but it was at the time when Faction Warfare came out, and even before. There's a lot of features that came out, and they even made a blog regarding that kind of thing. Which, listen, guys, we didn't listen to our consumers, our fans, our own people. They basically said that. And that created a lot of shit. I mean, a lot of players left. So, yeah. Don't listen to your customers, and that's well, especially with a MMO like that, with a game that you pay for, well, on a monthly basis, you're in a good direction to lose a lot of players. That's what they did. For example, like I said a couple of seconds ago, Faction Warfare. A feature that was really promising, but they let it go. They just left out Phase 1. They had 3 phases. Phase 1 just came out. And boom, that's it. They left. I think it's like 2 years after. And I'm trying to look for... there it is. And I'm gonna give myself some water here. And they, let's see here. They let go, well, not let go, but they released Faction Warfare, and they let it go. I can't even think of another feature that they got out, but basically it's things like these. They create oh yeah, walking in stations. That was freaking huge, if not the biggest feature of them all. Which means, like, the end, from what I can, from what I remember, of course. I couldn't take a look, but I'm not going to spend all that time because I think that's going to spend a lot of time. But I think that was, at first it was supposed to be, or at first I would say, originally it was supposed to be, you were supposed to walk inside a station and you would see, think of Las Vegas, or a wall, like not a Walmart, but a mart with lots of stores in it. You're walking, you see all these stores, you can buy, you can even go in a bar. I think they had trailers and such regarding like bars. You go inside a bar, you can create your own bar, you can buy one, you can rent one. Then you can modify your bar to your liking. Doesn't exist now. And there were a lot of talks as in, we want a first-person shooter kind of thing going on here, or a third-person shooter kind of thing going on here. A lot of people were talking about that, as in, why not? I mean, we're walking in the station, so why not? Things like that. Then there were also things about, like they got Dust 514. That really didn't work out well. Man, all those stuff, man, and that really didn't work out. Like, they were at a point when they were just not listening to us, well, to the consumers, and they were only releasing features, and people would say, listen, stop. Work on what you have right now and work on it. Please, stop it. Stop releasing features that you're not completing. This is stupid. And they didn't listen, and eventually people left, and that's where they are today, free to play, because they don't. That's what happens with a company, with a gaming company, when they don't have enough money. They have to well, there's all, I wouldn't say there's two things that's going on in their head: bankruptcy and close the game, like Black Prophecy, which was a free to play game which closed because no one was interested because of the I would say the PvP aspect. Story, awesome. Gameplay, because it's a ship kind of thing. You're in a spaceship and you can fight just like in, I would say, like Star Conflict, the free-to-play game. But the game was good, but when it came up to the sandbox PvP kind of thing going on, everyone could go there. So yeah, you had new guys, and then you had the veterans, which had everything. You can kind of imagine what happened. A lot of people were really pissed, so they just left the game, and Black Prophecy was down. That's it. So no, instead, these guys are going free to play. That's what basically this means. That's what it is. And they're just, and also another thing that we're starting to, when I left, they were starting to talk about low sec, just revamping it. In case you don't know, there's high sec, where you're kind of supposed to be safe. You got this kind of police going on. Well, they're called Concord ships. When you shoot another player in high sec, you're supposed to get NPCs that they're gonna shoot you. They will shoot you, and you will die. In low sec, it's kind of the same thing, but you don't have the Concord ships. You only have those gates and the stations. Also, like, there are certain places inside the game, inside low sec, that you can get shot. That's it. Sorry about my coughing. Yeah, and 0-0, there's no gates, there's nothing. You can shoot, you can do whatever you want. Nothing is affected, except for your death, of course. And they did nothing on that, or almost nothing. Not enough attention was given to nullsec 0-0 and low sec. There's a lot of people there. Guess why they left, or why the people that were there left? Yeah, I think it's really obvious here. And one of the number one complaint that why people leave or are not coming back, it's most of the time they just don't have enough time. That's the number one excuse that I have. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm not saying it's good, I'm just saying what people are telling me. Not enough time. EVE Online seems to be too complicated, or like too heavy. As in, like, they see the game and what they see is, that's the best image I can get. Like the learning curve of EVE Online, that's the best thing. You can see the other ones here on the bottom, like the red, the green, and the blue line, as in Lord of the Rings, World of Warcraft, and can't remember what POBS, whatever it is. Then there's EVE Online. Yeah, that was one of the expansions at first, but yeah, bulldozers pushing people off and people that are suiciding, and yeah, this is what EVE Online is in a nutshell. But yeah, there's one aspect that I want to talk about, and it's about the alpha state, which inside the game right now, well, not now, but in November, you're gonna have a alpha state which gives you around, at maximum, it's gonna give you 5 million skill points. If you look at the post, it's around the end. You'll be able to, I would say, use one faction. So if you're Amar, for example, you'll be able to use all the skill points of the Amar. Nothing else. So if there's a skill that's not related to Amar, on top of my head I would think of, well, I either races like Eldari, or what? Planetary skills, or anything related to planetary skills, I guess. It's not going to be there. So they can't say this is the big sandbox that you can do everything you want. But no, I want to talk about the price here. Because let's face it, when EVE Online will be a free-to-play game, like, the whole plan changes. Like, the whole game, not mentioning EVE Online, as in, the game changes, not EVE Online here. It's like an expression, that's what I mean. The whole thing changes. What's your point behind free-to-play? If you look at most MMOs out there, there's two plans. And usually the plan behind free-to-play is to give money to the company on a, not permanently, but a couple of times, that's it. Because they know people will come, people will leave. And that's what's going on here. Well, no, that's not what's going on here. Sorry. It's totally contrary. I mean, what I see is this. They want you to test it out and pay permanently. But, hypothetical situation here. And that's what's really bothering me a lot. The thing is this, regarding Alpha State and Omega State. Omega State is like you pay $15 a month. Or on a yearly basis, I think it's $11 or $10 or so. The thing is this, if you pay for Omega State, like an Omega clone, that's when you pay a regular monthly basis for, like forever. But in Alpha clone, you only have certain skills, certain ships, and that's it. That's all. I can see Alpha clone trying out the game and then paying afterwards permanently, and he keeps paying. But what about the person who wants to pay for 2, 3, 4 months, quit, come back later, or just try it out for a while and leave? That's not going. If he comes back, that's not gonna work. It's gonna piss him off. Let's face it. For example, I want to give a good example here. I try out Alpha Clone. So I subscribe, I make a new account, and I try it. And when I go to those skills here, let's say I try out, I don't know, Minmatar. No, Galante. I know they can do a little bit of missions here and there, which means you're going to get your revenue up. That's a good way. There's many other ways, of course, but just on top of my head, let's stick to that. And then I want to try out PvP. Galante are really good at PvP. So I seek out a corporation because I'm new here, so I want to learn stuff, so I go with them. I decided to pay for the game. 3 months, so $40. That's good, everything's good, but after those 3 months, for whatever reason, I stopped paying. Because, I don't know, time, I go back to school, I don't know, I don't have money anymore for now, but maybe later, yes or so. Then I quit paying. But I know that I'm in alpha state, so I can probably continue playing. I go back to my game, let's say 2 weeks later, or a month later. All the money that I spent, that $40, is gone. Wouldn't you be pissed about that? One of the arguments I would say think of would be, well, yeah, but it's like when you paid before for the monthly basis, and now you don't have access, which is kind of normal. Or any other free-to-play games, like you give money, and whatever you paid for, you get it, and then it's over. No. I'm not talking about consumables here. I'm not talking about items that are, I don't know, skins or things that you pay, you use one time. No. I'm talking about skill books in EVE Online, which is the core, one of the core elements of EVE Online. Remove that, there's no game. The game cannot exist without skill books. The game can exist without faction warfare. The game can exist without, I don't know, skills. The game can exist without Tech 2 ships. That'll be weird, but it can. These are all extra elements to the game. This is a core element. If I pay 40 bucks, let's be honest here. If I pay 40 bucks, or if you pay 40 bucks, wouldn't you get pissed off if you come back to the game you don't have access to that? Same applies to every other games, or every other free-to-play games. For example, Warframe, I was going to say Warfare. Warframe. Let's say you paid money for, like a certain Warframe, a certain character, whatever, if you don't know what the game is. If you don't pay for premium access, you don't have access to that Warframe, but you paid real money for it. Wouldn't you be pissed? It's not a consumable, by the way. It's a character. It's something that is like one of the core elements of a game. Star Wars, The Old Republic. You pay money for races, for example, because of... I can't remember. I think there are some elements or attributes that gives you certain advantages. What if you don't pay for premium access, you don't have access to it? But you paid real cash for it. Okay, I admit that that's not the best example, but anyways. Hearthstone. You pay real money for those cards. And if you... I think there's not premium access for it, but... Let's say there is premium access, because... I don't know how they could implement it, but let's say there is. You won't have access to those cards. Wouldn't you be pissed, or wouldn't you think that, hey, that's not fair? I mean, it's not a consumable. What about Robotcraft or Robocraft? You pay for premium tanks or premium robots, but because you don't have premium access, you don't have access to it? Or a World of Tanks, you have premium tanks in it. If you don't pay premium access, that little $10 or $20 extra per month, then you don't have access to it? Let's be honest here, you're gonna think that's not fair. We're not talking about potions or certain items that you consume one time, you use one time, and you leave it behind or something. We're not talking about skins or little things that you can probably pay for $1. No, you're talking about skill books inside the game, which is really freaking important if you ask me. Yeah, that's... I don't think that's fair. They should really be able to keep those skills. For example, Galente EM armor compensation. If I pay for my 3-month service, then I get all those skills to level 5. All of them, including some advanced one, like I think it's called Advanced Drone if I'm correct. I'd like to keep them. I mean, I did pay real money for it. Game balance, I'm not sure about that. I don't think there's going to be an imbalance on that. I mean, it's only skill books. Of course, I'll be able to drive or, well, I mean, yeah, drive. I mean, fly certain advanced ships or use certain other weapons if I have, higher skills. But what's the problem in that? I paid real money for that. Me, as a free-to-play, I would say consumer, if I know that if I spend like $40 and I don't have access to those skills afterwards, I'm not gonna pay for it. I'm not even gonna give them a cent. Why would I anyways? It's gonna limit my gameplay dramatically. We're not talking about not having access to faction warfare or certain access to, I don't know, skins or something. No, we're talking about limiting access to, holy shit, a lot of gameplay elements about a game here. This is huge. That's what I wanted to say. I'm just gonna quit it here. And like I said in the beginning, like the incomplete features. I mean, it feels like I'm gonna go back to there a bit. I feel like they're going everywhere, and that's what kind of happened to the free-to-play. I mean, what led to CCP from going to a monthly basis kind of subscription kind of game to free-to-play. It looks like they went everywhere and they didn't concentrate somewhere. Yeah, that's really bad. But anyways, like the price, that's what I wanted to talk about, because as far as I'm concerned, if someone talked about, please link it below, because I don't even see a single person talk about it, or if they did, I don't know, I missed it or something. Anyways, that's my thoughts. What do you think about what I just said? Agree, disagree? Is there anything that I missed or something? Any arguments that would completely destroy what I just talked about or something? Am I making sense here or something? Personally, I think I'm making sense. They should really be able to keep the skills, because, I mean, imagine that. Let's go to the extreme. I pay 1 year of service. That's over $100. And then for whatever reason you stop paying. Then you don't have access to it. I mean, you still have access because it's free to play, but you don't have access to the skills that you paid real money for? No. I would be pissed about that. I would really be pissed. Anyways, I'd like to hear your thoughts about that, and see you later. Bye-bye.